Thanks for coming out this morning. I know it's a little earlier than we usually do, but Yana is in Bulgaria right now, so it's late for her. This is Brad from Motion Media, by the way. Thank you for attending. I have a couple actual real quick poll questions that I want to ask just to get an idea of where everybody is from and if you guys own V-Ray. And for which item. So let me just let everybody answer this one real quick. And while you are answering it, just so you know, if you have any questions during the presentation, just go ahead and type them in the questions box over there on the right, and I will ask Yana to answer them at the end. If it's something I can answer, I'll answer it right away during the presentation, but if it's not, then I will hold off and just ask her once it's over. It looks like everybody has answered this poll. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So it looks like about 80% are in the US, 20 in Europe. One more. Let me just see who owns V-Ray and what version that you own real quick. Wow, that's pretty heavily skewed for 3ds Max. Interesting. All right. Well, it looks like I believe everybody has answered, everybody that's going to, so thank you for that. I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Yana now, and we'll go ahead and get started.
All right then. Hello everyone. I hope that you can hear me well and also see my screen. If not, please give a sign right in the chat. My name is Yana and I'm CG Specialist at Chaos Group. First, I want to thank you all for having me today. And in the following webinar session, I'll be very happy to introduce to you one of our latest products called VRScans. So if someone asks me to explain the VRScans just with a few words, I will say that the VRScans is world's most accurate material scanning technology. And before we start with the actual presentation, I want to play a little guessing game with you. On my screen, you can see those two images, and one of them is render and the other one is a real photo. And it will be interesting to know if you can guess which one is the render. So if you think that the left one is the render, type left in the chat. If you think that the right one is the render, you can type right. Unfortunately, we don't have so much time, so I'm giving you just a few seconds to guess. So don't be shy, just type left or right, so we can see if you can guess which one is the render. I'm not sure if I can see the chat, so Brad can tell me if there are some answers already.
Yeah, there's a bunch. Mostly, there's 2 lefts, 3 lefts, and a lot of rights.
A lot of rights. So you think that the right one is the render? Most of you? Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you the truth, and the truth is that we have photorealism versus realism. That means that the left one is the render and the right one is the real photo. So this was really interesting, and I must say we played the same game at the office, and it was also 50-50. We wasn't sure which one is the render. But this is a good sign, this is a good thing. That means that our material scanning technology is really close to the real world. All right, so let's move on. In here you can see a webinar's overview and what I want to cover today. starting with what is actually VRScans and what is the idea behind the technology. Then how is it made, and why people need it, why this technology can be useful, and what are the advantages for you. After that, I'm going to tell you where it can fit in the pipeline, in which industries it can be used, how to use it, and at the end, the most important thing are the results. And I'm going to show you a lot of renders so you can see the extraordinary photorealistic quality. And as Brad already mentioned, if you have some questions during my presentation, please write them in the chat because after the presentation there will be a Q&A session and I'll be very happy to answer all of your questions. What is VRScans? As probably many of you know, or even better have experienced, Chaos Group keeps very close relationship to users, clients, companies, and with some of the biggest companies out there, we have much more than vendor-client relationship. And the VRScans is actually direct product from such cooperation. One of the biggest automotive companies worldwide, a client of ours, talked to us a couple of years ago, and they had sort of an issue. They said that in the real world there are so complex materials that it is just impossible to represent them with the standard BRDF type like Blin, Fong, Ward, GGX. And we took this as a challenge, and after a few years of research and development, we came out with the solution for that problem, and it is called VRScans. We developed a piece of hardware, a material scanner, and it scans the actual BRDF type of the material. Then together with the corresponding software, we give to the end user one capsulated material ready to be rendered, which will give you photorealistic results out of the box. The technology captures each material's full appearance, including surface, texture, reflectivity, dimensionality, and the most important thing, the unique way it reacts to light. How it works? So the hardware, the material scanner, takes about between 100 and 200 photos. It depends on the complexity of the material, for about 3 minutes. Then the software, also developed by us, takes the data and makes it into a seamless, stylable, physically accurate material, which is ready to use in Maya and in Max using the VRScans plugin. Since we are offering a service, I'm going to tell you how this actually works. First, you send us a material sample to our headquarters in Sofia, Bulgaria. Then a technical person will evaluate the sample, the material sample, in order to find out if the material can be scanned. If not, then you are going to get your sample returned immediately. Otherwise, the sample will be scanned, and we are going to run, of course, some quality assurance tests to make sure that this is the correct material, that it behaves properly. And after that, you are getting one single file delivered. It can be sent, for example, via private FTP, or nowadays there are so many ways to ship files. And the last step is that the samples, the material samples, are going to be returned because many of them can be under NDA. Why people need this technology? Let me give you the following example. I'm working on a product design shot, and after, let's say, a few days of hard work, building some shaders, tweaking the lights, then finding the best camera position, then again tweaking the materials, I'm happy with the result. But how do I do the quality check? How I can be sure that this is the correct material? In this case, we have so many unknown components. For example, how can I know that the textures are taken with the correct exposure? I'm not sure. Then how do I do the quality check? Well, most of the times I have a reference on my second monitor. Then I take a look at my render, then at my reference, then again render, reference, and then I can tell, yeah, I think I'm pretty close to the real material, but I need to ask someone. Let's ask my colleague George. And then I'm like, hey George, can you please check this out? Can you tell me if this can work? And he will say, yeah, you know what, I think after he did the same thing, looking at the reference, looking at my render, he can say, yeah, I think it's pretty close, yeah, but better ask our supervisor. Then I'm going to ask the supervisor, and he will say, you know what, this is good, it can work, but I think that if you change a little bit the lighting here and then find better point of view, it will look better. And then you do the changes, and suddenly the material looks different. And this can happen because I worked for this current camera position and for this lighting. Then I need to fix this. Again, I spent some time fixing this, and I'm happy with the result. Then my supervisor is happy with the result. But you all know that the client has the end word, and if the client says, no, this is not the correct material, and you all know that in the automotive industry and in product design, everything needs to look photoreal. This is like a must. And yeah, so then I need to fix that again. Oh, I am tired just by explaining the whole thing to you, and you know that it happens, and it happens all the time. And in a situation like this, the VRScans come into game. So we are offering one single material which is physically accurate. It contains all the information you need, and you can use it as a base. So you can use the material as a base to build your entire scene. I mean, to build the lighting, to place the camera, and it will look accurate under all kinds of different lighting conditions. Because I already mentioned that it contains this unique way how the material reacts to the light in this single file. And yeah, so actually this is how things work in the real world. When the photographer is after the perfect shot, he cannot play with the materials, he cannot change the materials at all. He just can play with the lighting and with the camera, right? So you're going to have now this photographic approach into a 3D environment. So the VRScans will give you this exceptional photorealism. It will save you a lot of time, and I mean a lot of time not only by building these shading networks, but also by this going back and forward, discussing if this is the correct material, if this looks like at the reference, etc., etc. And last but not least, it is super simple to use, and you're going to see this just in a few seconds. Before that, I want to tell you where it can fit in the pipeline, in which industries is our technology used. In the automotive, since everything started from there, then in aerospace, architecture, product design, media and entertainment, also perfect for furniture design. And this is because we are super good in scanning all kinds of car paint, different kinds of metals, plastic, leather, fabric, and so on and so forth. Of course, there are some limitations. For example, we cannot scan refractive objects. And we are working currently on scanning translucent objects, which is also pretty difficult, but we are making quite a progress in there. And this is actually the hardware from this point of view, the material scanner. And this is how the software, the plugin, looks like inside Maya. It is also available for 3D Studio Max and in V-Ray 3.1 or in higher version. It will be also available soon for Rhino, SketchUp, Revit, Model, Houdini, and in Blender. So now it's time to show you some stuff in Maya and in Max, starting with the material loader in Maya, and this is how it looks like. So you need just to go in here, browse until you find the file sent from us. And since we have also information how big the sample was which we have scanned, there is also automatic, you can also automatically adjust the tiling, so also no guessing here as well. This is how the material loader in Max looks like, pretty much the same. And this is how a complex shading network can look like. And in order to build such a network, I need to have deep technical understanding. Also, it will take me a lot of time to build this, and it is not flexible at all, because in order to tweak something, I need to find the right texture, the right node, etc., etc. And I must say, I prefer to jump to the next slide, showing you this one single node. So this is the scanned material, and it will save me a lot of time, plus it will give me much better results, much more futuristic results than by using the previous shading network. Now it's really time to show you stuff starting in 3D Studio Max. Here I'm going to show you first how the loader looks like. This is it. Then I can change very fast the material to this red leather. As you can see, it works just fine with GRT. It updates very fast. And this here, this is actually the material, VRScans material. Now I'm going to load another one. So just go in here, browse to the file, and I want to find this wood, which is painted wood, and I'm going to assign it on this sample. As I mentioned, you have automatic button. You have a button for automatically adjust your tiling. The only thing you need to do is to click in here, click the sample, and this is all you need to do. Then there is a filter color, and the filter color will affect the color of the material. It will tint it, this is very important, it will tint it, but it won't change the actual color of the material. So keep this in mind. And as you can see, this wood is painted wood, and we have a clear coat on top of it. We have also information about that in this section in here. And you have the opportunity to enable and disable the clear coat, and also to change the index of refraction if it is needed. But this won't be actually the real material, so I'm going to leave it like this. Let's go in here and change to something else. And I want to say that, for example, this fabric, I want to say also that you can build shading networks with this scanned material by using also V-Ray blend material if you want, of course, if it's needed. So now I want to tell you the idea behind this setup, and for that I'm going to show you a couple of renders. Let me just find them. Here they are. So before we launched the product, we wanted to make some tests in order to see how photorealistic our scanned materials are. And we have built here a small studio setup in our office and made some photos. After that, we have rebuilt the whole setup in 3D Studio Max and in Maya, because we already knew we had information about the lights, about the camera, etc., etc. And then before the actual launch, the product manager of the VRScans came to us, and we played this guessing game with him. So he asked us, hey, can someone tell me which one is the render? And I must say it wasn't easy to guess. Probably when we have side by side the image, the real photo and the render, we could guess. But if I see only the render, it won't be possible for me to say which one, if this is a render or a real photo. So here again, here we have on the left side the real photo, and on the right side is the render. And I'm going to show you a couple of more examples. So another ladder in here, and if you pay attention, this object is moving a little bit, and this is staying still because this is the render. But yeah, for me the results are amazing, really. So here are a couple of other examples of ladder. You're going to find a couple of the examples on our website as well. Now I want to show you also the plugin inside Maya, and again I'm starting the RT. Here we have made again a test, and it is the following. We have extracted the maps from our scanner, and we have tried to build this shading network. This is it, in order to represent the plush material in here. And we have saved a lot of time since we had already the maps, but still, as you can see, we have here sample info nodes, some remapping nodes, etc., etc. And it took some time to build this one. So this is the shading network. And I'm going to save this one because I want to compare it afterwards with the scanned material. So I am going to switch to the scanned material, which looks like this. This is just the single node, nothing else. And this here is the result. I'm going to give it a few seconds to clean so we can make the comparison. So let's see. This is the material we have recreated, and this is the scanned material. And for me, the scanned material looks much more natural. And I'm going to tell you why on the following example. It is this one. This one, here we have done the same test. This is the material which we have made using the maps from the extracted maps from the scanner. And since we have light coming from this direction, we have here a very bright spot. But actually, in the real world, this material has very thin hairs. So when the light hits it, then a lot of the light goes inside and bouncing here inside of this between the small hairs. So we lose a lot of it. And I must say, this looks a little bit like plastic to me. And now I'm going to show you the scanned version. So this is what we get out of the box using the scanned material. See the difference and how big the difference is? So this feels, the scanned material feels much more natural. Also, we have in the material itself information like self-masking and self-shadowing, so the material will throw shadows on itself. So another example in 3D Studio Max, since I've got the information that most of you work with 3D Studio Max, I'm going to switch to this scene over here. And I'm going to start the RT. The scanned materials also work with distributed rendering, so no worries. And now I need to give it a couple of seconds because everything in the scene has a scanned material. And I have about 20 of those, so they need to be loaded. And now I'm going to use the real zoom so we can focus on the detail of the materials. So let's zoom in. And now I will change some of the materials, for example, starting with changing this leather on the chair with this brown leather, like this. Let's give it a few seconds. It's very small detail in here, so I need to zoom probably a little bit more so you can see the leather better. And I also want to show you some fabrics, starting with this one. And this is also not an easy material to represent, as you can see. Let me show you two more materials, two more fabrics. This one, and I'm showing you one more material, one more fabric, and then I'm going to show you the image already rendered in better resolution, so you can really focus on the detail and see the detail of the materials. So let me just find the renders. Here they are. So as I mentioned, everything here was rendered with scanned materials. It's important to have, of course, proper UVs. And take a look at this plush material. It's awesome. I really like it a lot. It's so difficult to make it. So here we have wood, some fabric, this amazing velvet material, then metal, the leather which I showed you, and this fabric also with a different, here you can see different leathers again, different setup. Okay, and let's see, since everything started with the automotive, I want to show you some car paints. This car was designed especially for showing you some car paints, and let me show you some. I'm going to zoom so you can hopefully see the flakes. And in order to show you how nice this works in animation, I'm showing you this example in here. So you can see the colorful flakes and how stable they are. It works super in animation, no worries at all in here. This example, by the way, you can find also on our website if you want to see it once more. And I have one more example for you, and this will be this time interior, car interior. So everything here again is scanned material, and this image has about 7,000 pixels in the width and about 4,000 in the height, and it took about 1 hour and 50 minutes to render on a single machine. And I'm going to zoom so we can see here the leather. This material is awesome and very hard to represent, almost impossible. Let's see, even the chrome here was scanned. You can see different kinds of plastics, leather again with small gaps. What else we have here? This plastic with flakes, and let's see, again different kind of plastics. What else? Okay, I want to show you one more image, again interior, and this is this one. See the dimensions? It has about 4,000 pixels, 14,000 pixels in the width and about 8,000 pixels in the height. Why I'm telling you this at all, you ask? This is because I want to show you the detail we can capture with our technology, and this image is basically ready for print. So see the very nice detail. You can see here the self-masking and self-shadowing on the wheel, and we don't have any displacement or whatsoever. This is just the material. Again, here the nice flakes on the plastic, different kind of leather, again plastic. So I think now it's time to summarize. The VRScans will give you extraordinary photorealistic results out of the box, and this will save you a lot of time. And this is actually a win-win situation where you can find better results for less time, right? And as you saw, it's super easy to use. Even a child can render super realistic materials, because you don't need any specific skills or something to use the materials. Also, when you have the VRScans plugin, you're going to get a free access to a material library, with scanned materials, and we are constantly adding new materials, scanned materials, which you can use also in your work. And you can find us, this is our official website, VRScans.com. And if you want, you can contact us in there. There is a contact form. There are also frequently asked questions. And if you want to take a look at more the technical part, our documentation website is this one, docs.chaosgroup.com. And here you can find more information about that. So I guess this was all. The only thing I can say is that you should try our new technology. You should try the VRScans. So we have evaluation periods, so get a trial license and play with it. See if this fits to your needs. You can ask for a trial, us, or even better, write to Motion Media for that. And yeah, so this was all. I hope that you saw something interesting in this presentation, and I want to thank you all for your attention. So now it's time to answer your questions if you have some. Let's see.
Yeah, there's a couple so far. I will just go ahead and ask. One of them is, how about getting these materials into a game engine such as like Unreal 4? And he said obviously they won't be quite as nice, but can they be close to the same result?
It will be difficult for now, first because the materials, since they contain a lot of information in there, they can be pretty heavy, about 300 megabytes, can be a single material. You need also V-Ray to render those for now.
Yeah, okay. And then the only other question so far is, what is the realistic material sample size that would have to be sent?
Okay, so there is minimum and maximum. Minimum, it needs to be 2 by 2 centimeters, and the maximum will be 20 by 20 centimeters. It needs to be also flat.
Yeah, okay.
And yeah, yes?
Go ahead, I was just going to see if anybody else had any other questions.
No. Let's see the other questions.
All right, well, there's a few coming in here. Do we need a plugin to use it if we have V-Ray already for Maya?
Yes, this is the VRScans plugin. So you need it in order to render the materials.
And what is the average turnaround time for if somebody were to send in a material, I'm guessing is what he's asking.
Okay, so you need to send the sample to our office in Sofia, Bulgaria. But let's say if you send us 5 materials and we get them, then we are going to need just a day to scan all the materials, to run the quality check, and at the next day you are going to get your materials ready to use. So I don't know how you're going to send them. So if you send them, how to say it in English, with the post, then it can take a while. I don't know, but.
So in theory, if you overnighted them, you could have your materials in 2 days.
Yeah, the thing is, when we have the materials here, we need short amount of time to send you the ready-to-use files. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, it doesn't look like there's any other questions coming in, so I think we are good.
All right.
So thank you very much. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. if you showed up in the middle, or if you want to check this out again, it'll be up on our YouTube channel probably by tomorrow, I would guess. And obviously, if you want to buy VRScans, then give us an email. If you already have a rep at Motion Media, contact them. Otherwise, you can email me, brad@motionmedia.com, and I can give you pricing and whatnot. And actually, there is another question here real quick. Can we use the library for any software that can use V-Ray?
No, not for now. So you can use it in Maya and in Max, and again, only if you have the VRScans plugin. It works together with it.
Yeah.
But
okay.
It will be available hopefully very soon for, as I mentioned, for Rhino, SketchUp, Houdini, and so on and so forth. Blender, Model, yeah.
Okay. And someone's asking, will you eventually offer the scanned materials for sale?
I'm not sure if I get the question correct. Can you please repeat it?
Yeah, will you eventually offer scanned materials for sale?
No, we are not selling like our library. We give it for free to use if you have the plugin. And what we offer is this service. So you can send us a sample, we scan the sample and give you the material. So you are paying the material you want to have. So
Yeah.
and what you need, yes. And those materials won't be uploaded in the material library because many of them are under NDAs, and this is just impossible to.
Yeah.
In the library there are only free materials to use.
Okay. All right. Well, that looks like it's it. So thank you, Iana. That was very good, very interesting. And thanks everybody for showing up.
Thank you
all. Have a good
all.
rest of your week.
Have a nice day.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.